So we have an amazing guest today called Conshizzy, and he is a highly acclaimed human rights lawyer, podcaster, MC, and voice artist based in Nairobi, Kenya. In 2017, he won Yali Human Rights Champion Award. Amazing. He devoted most of his work in legal writing and research, public speaking, supporting groups, individuals, and organizations engaged in the movement, building to end human rights violations and social injustices. And his new podcast, The Confident One, with brave, bold, and disruptive conversations. Please, is there anything else you could...
Conshizzy in the building!
Conshizzy.
Conshizzy, it's nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You have such a radio voice.
I was on radio initially.
Exactly.
I did radio a couple of years,
Where?
2009 till 2011 on Metro FM. I don't know if you used to listen to
Yeah,
Yes,
Metro.
It was huge.
Oh
Yes.
my God, it was back in
Yeah.
the day. So like, what happened that you didn't want to go back to radio? Because I hear when you go media, you never go back.
Yeah, I never go back. That time I was in law school.
All right.
So I did radio and I was still studying in law school. So when I graduated, I decided maybe let me just, I don't know, expound my skills,
Yeah.
not just be boxed to just being a radio host. So yeah, that's why I decided let me just be the lawyer now, but also the artist on the side,
Yeah.
but not on radio. But the podcast is new. So
It's more or
yeah,
less radio though.
yes, radio, but
Yeah.
it's the future right now.
Yeah.
True.
Traditional
Very true.
radio, I feel like I stand corrected, but I feel like it's in its deathbed.
Oh yeah. So what do you think is it like? What is that fresh, like a breath of fresh air when it comes to podcasts rather as compared
Traditional
to
radio.
Yeah, to traditional radio.
I feel like right now people want raw, blunt, and brutally honest conversations.
Very true.
so like radio is controlled.
Yeah, it's controlled.
Yeah.
It's scripted. People want raw conversations.
They want the truth.
Exactly.
They want depth.
So the moment someone tunes in on traditional radio and they're like, I'm not getting that raw, conversation. They feel like they need to get another, medium. And our podcast, I mean, they're poised to be global, super global. The culture is growing in Africa, South Africa, maybe in Kenya, Nigeria, but in Europe and America, it's huge.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
Can
for
you
sure.
describe to us what the Confident One is about, since we're talking
The
about your
confident
podcast?
one. My name is Conshizzy. Is coined from two words: confident and sure.
Wow.
Yeah. So the podcast.
For Shizo? Okay. I had to do that.
So the confident one is just now like a child of Conshizzy. So I feel like since I'm now confident, I need to also inspire other confident people and inspire confidence in people.
Absolutely.
So I sit down with confident human beings that I feel are confident and also have conversations that are confident and disruptive. So I feel it's a space where we inspire confidence with conversations that are disruptive, bold, and brave.
Yeah. So this disruptive. What
Disruptive.
exactly do you mean? Because
Yeah.
I can imagine like disruptive is like, okay, there's the truth that you thought was the truth, but here, listen. So let's disrupt this whole
Yes,
thing. What is that
please.
about?
Disrupt. Dissect
we
it for
want
us.
to
Yeah.
we spark conversations. We tackle issues that are deep-seated conversations that you don't hear in
Like
mainstream.
what?
Like let me just mention the series I've done.
Yeah.
There's an episode I've done about gender-based violence,
Yes.
which is I feel like it's a shadow pandemic.
Yes.
It is a pandemic,
it's a
especially
it's a
right
pandemic,
now.
and people don't highlight gender-based violence as much as it should be. So we're tackling conversations like GBV. I've done police brutality in one episode.
Which is very important, especially
And
right
very,
now with
yeah.
our country, yeah.
Exactly, you've been seeing extrajudicial killings everywhere. People dying. Young people losing lives. So I feel like the mainstream media doesn't tackle these conversations, because
Very
political
true.
correctness.
Yeah, again.
So us guys on the other side, we won't talk about it. We want to disrupt.
Yeah.
We want to go for those guys, those bad cops,
Yeah.
and call them out. So that's the difference between a podcast and maybe now traditional radio, because you don't want to lose sponsors. You're walking on eggshells.
Yes. Yes.
But us guys, we're not afraid to call out these people
Yeah.
and disrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me take you back a little bit
Yeah.
to what you do, like law.
Yes.
Coming from law school, doing a podcast about, being a human activist and
Yeah.
all that, and having a voice for those that don't have one.
Right.
Most of us joined a particular career because our parents forced us to.
Yeah.
But it looks like a passion to you. Is it something that you always wanted for yourself, or your parents sort of had a hand in it?
I've been very musical. I've been an artist from day one. My dad taught music.
Right.
He passed on though. but he taught music. And so I grew up in a very artistic and musical, household. But I've always been a troublesome kid, trying to...
Rebel?
No, not rebel.
No?
Like getting in good trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to
No, define
advocate.
trouble, because there's the rebel, as she said, or is it trouble as you were naughty?
Getting in good trouble is advocating for rights,
Okay,
for
yeah.
equal treatment.
Yeah, your parents were like, what are we going to do with you? You're always on the right side, but you're in the wrong timing.
Getting
Yeah.
in good
Yeah.
trouble. That's why I'm saying good trouble. It's not like... so, yeah, I was that kind of person, growing up. And I realized when we had, like, something going on in school, or maybe they needed someone to speak for them. I'm like, oh, yeah. But my mother needed Ronnie. So, like, yeah, Ronnie, you're the one who will speak. When we have, like, something, going, wrong in our class, I'm the one who will speak.
You were the spokesman.
Yeah, and I got into trouble, But I feel like we need to get in good trouble, for us to live in a better society, more just.
Absolutely.
We can't just, keep quiet, walk on eggshells.
Would you say that that's what you pay attention to as revolutionary? Because that's what revolutionaries are, right?
I feel like I'm more about inspiring and sparking conversations that will now get people to talk about these issues, like the social issues I've been talking about in my series says.
Yeah.
So I feel like once we spark a conversation, we are able to bring in everyone,
Yeah.
a huge chunk of people to be part of the conversation. But if we all sit down and just, bury our heads in the sand, no one wants to talk. We can't make progress.
Can you tell us what it's like to be a lawyer? I always have that question. I find it very interesting because law is hard and you're playing with, the language. First of all, when we're reading contracts, we're like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah.
There's a language you guys use.
It's called
that's-
legal jargon.
Yes. So can you tell us
jargon.
what it feels like to have studied law and what it felt for you to achieve it, and exactly for this 2017 award that you won, that was Yala Human Rights Champion Award. Yali, sorry.
Yali,
Yes, Yali.
is a Young African Leaders Initiative. It's an initiative by the United States. It's a signature effort for them to inspire the future generation African leaders. So I did a lot of work around human rights and social justice.
Yeah.
So that's when they gave me that. I was awarded that award in
Congratulations.
2017. Thank you.
Yes,
it was,
that is a big
2017 Feb.
Yeah.
So your question, how is it like being a lawyer? I feel like it's just a normal career. It's just that lawyers tend to be more vocal. They talk a lot. They disrupt. They speak their mind, and now everyone is like, these people think that they're the ones who run the show.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, the law is everything
Yeah.
in a country that follows the rule of law. So that's why you see most lawyers on the forefront. But it's not. It's just a normal career,
But
like being on TV, radio,
yeah.
teacher, doctor.
Yeah. But do you think Kenya observes the rule of law, or government?
Good question.
Perfect.
I
Perfect
feel
question.
like it's a problem. It's a global
With the government,
issue.
yeah.
It's a global issue because even governments and democracies that have progressed, even in Europe and America, you find violations happening. We saw George Floyd and
Yes.
extrajudicial killings in the USA. They're so
There are many.
rampant.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
you can't even compare in
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah.
So I feel like we have this challenge globally.
Yeah.
But the thing
It's a global pandemic.
Yeah, it's a shadow. It's a shadow global pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I feel the difference between maybe those states and us guys is they strive every day
Yeah.
to safeguard the rule of law and human rights and social justice. But us guys here, no one wants to take the bull by its horns.
Yeah.
We all want to, like I said.
What would you advise us as Kenyans? What would
Yeah.
you advise us in the sense of what you feel like the modern Kenyan now needs to focalize on, just personally, to start with themselves, enable to be more vocal in a public setting? Because I feel like we're having that issue where we're so scared and intimidated.
Yes.
If we're in a private setting, we can talk about it, but then when it comes to action, it's like
shh,
kila mtu ako peke yake,
Yeah.
mimi nime-exit because I'm mtauliwa.
Yeah.
There's a police brutality that you've spoken about. And I think it's just the mindset. What, as a lawyer and an activist, would you advise the individual person in their mindset where to start? Because I feel like it has to start within in order for us to be more vocal and to put a setting. You have to be able to stand alone independently, right?
It's simple. I feel like we just need to, once you see a social ill happening in your neighborhood or in your country or society, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Film it, post that video. Social media is huge right now. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, Facebook. I feel like if, as individuals, we highlight these social ills and violations, don't see it in, it doesn't concern me. It doesn't affect me. I mean, right now it's you, next time it's the next person.
Somebody else, yeah.
So I feel like sparking conversations and speaking out once we see these violations happening. Don't bury your head in the sand and it doesn't affect me. Or
Yeah.
maybe you're privileged, you don't live in a neighborhood that's dangerous. But anyone can
It's a
be
glass
a big,
house,
yeah,
huh?
it's a glass house.
Yeah.
You know, it could just calm down anytime.
Yeah.
So I feel like the advice would be speak up, highlight these social ills. Don't see something going wrong and just look the other way because
Yeah.
it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Because it can affect you in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's just take it back to
All right.
you. When someone looks at you before even saying,
Yeah.
knowing who you are,
Yes.
they already see the dreadlocks, right? You look dapper. But let me tell
Thank
you,
you.
there's
You look amazing
there's
too.
a common misconception with the dreadlocks. And when you even say, I'm a lawyer,
Yes.
they'll be like, huh? Practicing. So do you have people actually who look at you and are
Of
like,
course,
okay,
I
really?
mean, stereotypes are
Okay,
everywhere.
good.
But the thing is, we need to also debunk. It's not dreadlocks. There's nothing dreadful about.
Absolutely.
locks.
Well,
it's just hair. So let's just say hair or maybe locks.
Or locks.
Yeah.
No,
I actually had to put that
Yes.
dreadlocks because it should be dread.
Dread
Yes, and
it.
it's like,
dread it.
and as it is in America, where a lot of African Americans are not allowed to wear their natural hairs to school for the longest time, even in South Africa, whereas you would have to go with straight hair or cut off your hair. So I feel like there's a stereotype around the world where we're forced to look more Caucasian.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an agenda that's okay. It's failing now. I feel like it's failing
Yeah.
because it's been there. They've been trying to demonize locks or maybe dreaded hair.
Yeah.
But I feel now people are, let me use the word woke. People are woke now. You look at someone and you like you can't judge them because of the hair, and it's African hair. I mean, going back to our history, the Mau Mau, those people who fought for freedom. I mean, they spotted this hair, but now the narrative was distorted, and we were meant to believe, having locks, you're dreadful, you're dangerous.
Mangiki,
Yeah,
like a
but
sect.
you don't take showers.
He said something that took my mind somewhere.
Yeah.
You see, lawyers normally wear the big white hair that
Exactly.
actually looks like dreads. It looks like locks.
It does.
So
yeah, the
it
wigs.
kind of, when you say
Wigs.
woke, it kind of throws you to a different place, guys, where you sit and you're like, hey, by the way, if you look at the old lawyers' hairs of back in the day, in the, I don't know.
I like calling them the status quo lawyers.
1980s.
Yeah.
No, what was it, in the 1970s, I don't know, 40s?
The wigs.
The
The
wigs.
wigs. The wigs.
Yeah, the lawyer
Yeah.
wigs, they kind of take the form of dreads. And even
Yeah.
if you look at the times of kings and kings in Europe, they took the form of making their long hair look like dreads.
Yeah.
So then it wakes, as you said, woke, because I feel like there's a lot of things from Africa that has been taken from us way before our time and made Caucasian, and
Yes.
then now is being refused to be given back to us.
Yeah. But then you write as well and
Yes.
research.
Yeah, I do
What
that a
exactly
lot.
do you write about? What are you most passionate about that you feel like, okay, what drives you to your writing?
I'm passionate about social ills,
Okay.
social justice, and human rights. In fact, most of my work revolves around that. Even my episodes on the podcast, if you listen, you can find it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, Google.
And Conshizzy, that has to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
Why? Where exactly did it come from?
It comes from a point of just seeing how Kenyans and people globally suffer because maybe they don't have the knowledge
Yeah.
about human rights, basic human rights.
Yes.
The moment you're born with those rights. They're not given to you by the
Yes,
government.
very true.
Once you're born, it's automatic. You have human rights, but we're made to believe the government gives you human rights. But no, you're born with them, and they are so interdependent. One can't survive without the other.
That's true.
So you can't say you have the right to live but not eat, or
Yeah.
maybe go to school, education. So I feel it comes from a point of seeing how people are so misinformed and they lack information. So I feel like we need to get information out there.
Yeah.
We need to let people know it's not a favor the government. It's not doing you a favor the government or maybe authorities.
They're just
It's your
put in a
right.
position, yeah.
It's your right.
Like information is power, and so is civic education, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but guys, of course, you want to see Conshizzy, of course, doing his thing. So kindly watch this video. Exactly. So what was happening there?
That was Bobby Mkangi. He was
Yes.
my second guest on the podcast. So he's a prominent lawyer.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys maybe have seen him on TV somewhere. He
Yeah,
was part of the guys that
Didn't have
drafted
an
the
info.
Constitution.
Oh, with Akinanzamba
Yeah,
Kitonga.
yeah, exactly. He was
Right.
a COE, part of the COE. He's a good friend of mine, a personal friend. He was my second guest. So we're just talking about, we talked about so many things. We have 2 episodes, A and B, but he was my second guest on the podcast. My first guest was Chiki. I know Chiki
yes,
Of course,
Araka.
yes.
yes.
Yeah, not
yes.
episode 1. She's my also personal friend.
Nice.
So yeah, so we were talking about everything, you know, from law to social ills to music. You know, I'm a music lover. You know, I love music. So it's a nice episode. You can just consume it and, you know, get to learn and also get entertained.
And where can we get that information
Good
from?
question. Good question. I mean, it's on the platforms that, you know, everyone is on. YouTube. You can find it, Conshizzy Podcast.
Yeah.
You can find it on Spotify.
Perfect. And what are your final thoughts
Final thoughts?
that you could give us on your magic? Because
Yeah.
it's magical.
It's magical. Thank
Yeah.
you. I feel like the moment you know you're in constant conversation with yourself as a human being. No one can take advantage of you or maybe exploit you. Be in constant conversation with yourself. Be intentional, and you will have a very, I don't know, smooth existence in this world.
Great.
Fantastic.
That was such a powerful conversation.
Yes,
Conshizzy.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you
so
for
much
having
coming.
me.
Yes.
Did you say your social media handles,
Yes,
all of
please.
them?
We need
Yeah,
all
you
of
can
them.
find me social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Conshizzy.
Can you spell it out for us quickly?
CONSHIZZY.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
and
you
of
for
course,
having me.
thank you. We hope you enjoyed and of course learned a lot. Kama hujaandika kitabu hapo hivyo notes, mi sijui unafanya nini. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We'll be right back.